You know, guys, what happens to us when it comes to using tenses in your speech whenever you are talking to somebody and you want to use some kind of incredible sentences in your speech. I mean, by using tenses. So I'm going to be talking about how I used to practice. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get started. So I'm going to tell you how I used to practice tenses when I was trying to use tenses in my speech. Okay, I would pick up only one sentence, like I speak in English, and then I will make six sentences, like one sentence I will pick up, and six, I mean, 1 2 3 4 5 6 I will speak. So now I'm gonna show you how actually I used to do it. And yes, definitely you can also do like this and practice your tenses and actually use them incredible sentences in your speech. So let's talk about I speak in English. This is positive. And then I will speak negative. I do not speak in English. And then I will make it interrogative. Interrogative means do I speak in English? And then I'm going to speak do I not speak in English, or we can use contraction. Don't I speak in English? Or fifth one, I will speak WH family. Why do I speak in English? And sixth one, WH negative. Why don't I speak in English? I mean, six sentences I have spoken. The same you can speak, and you can train your mind to use tenses in your speech. And actually, most of the cases we use tenses a lot in our speech. If you do not know tenses, so it will be really hard for you to understand a video in English. Or oh guys, I would like to tell you, if you are a beginner, like you're not able to understand English, or so you can switch on the subtitles. Maybe here would be looking, so you can switch it on, and here no subtitles would be going on, so you can look at them and actually read them and understand the video, whatever is going on, whatever I'm talking about. Okay, so that is how I have talked about present indefinite tense. And now I'm going to be talking about second present continuous. I am speaking in English. I am not speaking in English. Am I speaking in English? Am I not speaking in English? When am I speaking in English? When am I not speaking in English? Or of WH family words you can use here. Present perfect, we're going to be talking about it. I have spoken in English. I have spoken in English. Now I will speak I have not spoken in English. And then have I spoken in English? And fourth, have I not spoken in English? Or we could use haven't I spoken in English? Or fifth one is why have I spoken in English? Or why have I not spoken in English? Why haven't I spoken in English? Haven't, it's a contraction. Now, fourth one, present perfect continuous tense. So I'm gonna use that example furthermore. Like I have been speaking in English for 8 months. Okay, now I'm going to speak in negative. I have not been speaking in English for 8 months. Now I'm going to be using interrogative. Like, have I been speaking in English for 8 months? And then fourth one is, have I not been speaking in English for 8 months? And fifth one is WH. Why or where or other words you can use here according to your whatever you want to say. Why have I been speaking in English for 8 months? And sixth one, why have I not been speaking in English for 8 months? Oh, I have done it. Okay, guys. So now it's time to talk about past tenses. Past indefinite, or we could say simple past. Simple past, past indefinite, whatever you want to say. Okay, so we are going to use that example again. I spoke in English. Spoke. I mean, we are talking about past. I spoke in English. I did not speak in English. Negative. Did not speak. Not spoke. I did not speak in English. Okay. Third is, did I speak in English? Fourth one, didn't I speak in English? Or we could say, did I not speak in English? I have used a contraction. Didn't I speak in English? Fourth, why did I speak in English? Where did I speak in English? When did I speak in English? Okay, fourth. Sixth, why didn't I speak in English? Why did I not speak in English? Okay, so now let's talk about past continuous tense. I was speaking in English. I'm talking about past. I was speaking in English. I was not speaking in English. Was I speaking in English? Was I not speaking in English? Why? Why was I speaking in English? Why was I not speaking in English? I want to speak it really quick. I was just speaking sorry. I was just speaking in English. I was not speaking in English. Was I speaking in English? Was I not speaking in English? Why was I speaking in English? Why was I not speaking in English? That is how I was practicing, guys. Same, I'm telling you. Okay, let's talk about third one. I mean, past tense. Past perfect. Past perfect. I had spoken in English. I had spoken in English. I had not spoken in English. Had I spoken in English? Had I not spoken in English? Why? Why had I spoken in English? Why had I not spoken in English? Okay, so now let's talk about last one in the past. Past perfect continuous. I had been speaking in English for 8 months. I had not been speaking in English for 8 months. Had I been speaking in English for 8 months? Had I not been speaking in English for 8 months? Fifth, why had I been speaking in English for 8 months? Where had I been speaking in English for 8 months? When had I been speaking in English for 8 months? Other WH you can use. Okay, and why had I not been speaking in English for 8 months? Okay, guys, now we have finished past tenses. So, guys, now let's talk about future tenses. Okay, I will speak in English. Okay, means I'm talking about the future. In future, I will speak in English. I will speak in English. Negative. I will not speak in English. Interrogative. Will I speak in English? Interrogative. Negative. Will I not speak in English? WH. Why will I speak in English? WH negative. Why will I not speak in English? I'm just showing you, you should practice like this if you are trying to learn. Okay, so let's move on. Future continuous. Okay, future continuous. Let's practice. I will be speaking in English. I will not be speaking in English. Will I be speaking in English? Will I not be speaking in English? Why will I be speaking in English? Why will I not be speaking in English? That is how you can practice. Okay, let's talk about third, future perfect. Okay, let's practice. Future perfect. I will have. I will have spoken in English. I will not have spoken in English. Okay, will I have spoken in English? Will I not have spoken in English? Why will I have spoken in English? Why will I not have spoken in English? Future perfect continuous. Okay, first. Okay. I will have been speaking in English for 8 months. I will not have been speaking in English for 8 months. Well, I have been speaking in English for 8 months. Will I not have been speaking in English for 8 months? Why will I have been speaking in English for 8 months? Why will I not have been speaking in English for 8 months? Guys, this is how we can practice. And also, this is how I practiced. I used to practice